Om Guru Om Guru Guru Om Guru Om Guru Guru Om 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 Guru Guru Om Guru Om Guru Guru Om Guru Om Guru Om Guru Om. Namaste and good morning. So I was deliberating what should I speak today about, since there are so many things to talk about in these troubled times. But I'm thinking, what would be the most helpful for someone who does not know how to meditate or does not know what meditation is? Sure, you've heard about it, you've been to meditation classes, but how does it really help you? Of course, I could talk about the guru also, or I could just close my eyes and give blessings and darshan. But I know some will not join, but they will probably view this video after. So I would like to explain a little bit about what is not meditation in order to say what is meditation. So, for example, when you're sitting down and you're thinking, well, I'm going to meditate. And what do? You do a practice, right? Either it's probably listen. There are so many different schools of meditation. They teach various things, like, for example, you might do mantra meditation, where you would sit and say a mantra. But that not really is meditation. It is a tool to help the mind towards meditation. You might do some breathing techniques. That also is a tool to relax the body. So you might listen to some music, and that will help calm you down a little bit. But that is also a tool in meditation. So you may do a meditation where, you do different things, So there's so many that I can't go into all of them. But what really is meditation, and why would meditation help you in these troubled times? So I just want to show you visually something. So let us imagine that this is a pot that's boiling, right? I can't bring a boiling pot. So this is the pots that boil in, and bubbles are streaming up, It's not boiling yet. It's about to go to boil, So it creates a bubble and it comes on top. So many bubbles are forming there, like lots of bubbles are coming up, This is your boiling pot. So now this is the mind. And when you sit, the bubbles that are coming up are the thoughts that are going on inside your mind. See? So if I could visualize bubbles coming up, so one bubble come up, it might be, oh, I need to go get my car washed. Oh, another one, oh, I was invited to this thing and I couldn't go. And another thought is, my children, they haven't called me. So now that one has an emotion in it, right? So that bubble has an emotion in it, and then now you feel sad. Let's say it's a thought like that. My children didn't call me, so I'm sad about that. Now the mind is going with that. It's going with that until the phone rings and somebody comes and says, hey, did you do your taxes? And the mind is, oh yeah, I didn't do my taxes. So the mind is going like that. It's bubbling up, it's bubbling up. And so from that thought and idea comes an action. See, and that action is what we do into the world. Either we call our kids and say, hey, how come you haven't called me? Or sometimes, you would cry and say, well, nobody likes me. So you see, all these are just thoughts that are going around. But why? Why is that so? So God has made us to have thoughts. Thoughts are very good because it prompts us into action. And action is the karma of the world, whatever actions we do. So our body records all these actions. So there are different kinds of action, there are different kinds of karma. So now the thoughts are bubbling up and you sit down, right? So imagine that you sit down there and you try to say, oh gosh, well, how do I meditate? So maybe you do a mantra, you say Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, right? So you say that a few times. So what you've stopped is the thoughts from coming up. But those things that created the thoughts are still there. Why did the thought arise? Those seeds of thoughts are still rising. So the Om Namah Shivaya, it subsides for a while and your mind thinks of God. So some mantras, they have energy associated with it. So it will be of some use to you. It can have a clearing effect in some parts. So when you do it with faith, with bhakti, and you chant such a mantra, then you feel good inside. But have all the worries left, have all the bubbles gone. After you finish, it comes again. But this is a good tool because it allows you to not have any thoughts because you are inputting something. So meditation is not inputting anything. It's releasing everything. For example, maybe somebody brings some Tibetan bowls. So you get the music and you hear it and it feels good inside. So for that moment, something happened and you arose and you felt good. But did it clear enough of the bubbles? Did it clear it? So how do you do it on your own? You might listen to some music and you feel good for that while, but how do you quell how many thoughts are coming up? Because remember, this is the information age. You are bombarded with information every day of your life. Thousands of data is coming to this brain. Now, when Google has too much data on their server, what do? They buy a new server and they put it. So more information goes there. You see? But we just have one body, one system to cope with all of this that's going on. You see? So right now, there are many mental illnesses as a result of COVID. So many are worried and the emotion comes out. And emotion, when you have so much emotion, you can't think right, So this is the second plague of the world. The first one is the pandemic. The second plague is too much thoughts, too much information. So, I started this meditation because of my faith in God. I loved God. But when you do a journey with God, much more comes. And Sat, which is truth, comes out. And then you understand so many things about your own self and about the universe. So meditation helps you on many levels. But the first thing to get good meditation is how do you release those thoughts? How do you stop it? Now there's a meditation technique of mindfulness. So the mindfulness teacher would say, okay, sit down and pay attention. and see the thoughts come out one at a time and just let it go. So the mind is paying attention, but then how do you even get the mind to pay attention? So this is why you do some breathing exercise. You take a deep few breaths and then you sit down and you watch the thoughts go. But that's like a big exercise, you know. So sometimes you do need the tools that the gurus are giving out. So you have to do everything. You have to do a bit of mindfulness, maybe a bit of chanting, a bit of breathing, a bit of yoga, a bit of being thankful for being alive, and a bit of reverence to God and the universe. If you look every morning, you come out and you see the sun is up, the sun is doing its job, you know, and you say, oh my God, this is such a beautiful place, you know. You love looking at your flowers and you say, what is this? This is a great creation. This is the creator has created such a fantastic thing. And your eyes just tear up because it's such a wonderful world. But our thoughts make us see it's not a wonderful world. But these things do. There are things that are tragic, and we have emotions, and we have to bear it. But when you are strong in God and spirituality, or even science, you have some strong inspiration about God, or you have a guru in your life, these are the things that will propel you into seeing this great creator, into seeing this great creation around us, into seeing this creation. We are the most fantastic thing in our little solar system at this moment. You know, we are. And it took billions of years for us to become this bright. And it'll take even more years to become more brilliant, you see. So this is our thing right now in the world. The COVID has hit us all hard. You know, we can't think, we can't function, we're worried. So how do you get rid of the thoughts? Sometimes, you know, you have to start somewhere. So for some people who have not done any of the things I talked about, when it does a bit of this, a bit of that, when I was saying that, you have to start running, doing some exercise, doing some exercise, and then sit down and breathe. If I tell you to sit down and breathe, you don't even know how to sit down and breathe. So you have to find a teacher, you have to do something, you have to start your life. Then the ones who are doing, you know, meditation and, you know, like not meditation, but you're going to the temple, the church, the mosque, you know, those are tools. Those are tools that will lead you into know your true self. So you follow the teachings, but what next? What next? Scriptures were written thousands and hundreds of years ago. But what the Creator has done is the truth lies even within us. So the meditation even glides you into that. So now the bubbles are coming up. What is causing some of the things? So you have to get rid of that, right? So this is what the breathing, you start doing breathing exercise. If you have a mantra, you sit down and you do it 10 minutes a day. If you have a guru, you focus on the guru and you do the instructions of the guru. If you don't have any of these things, there are many things on the internet that explains how to meditate, right? And how to clear your mind. Now, if you have a million things in your house, that's a million kind of thought that you have because you're attached to those things. So maybe the first thing you should do is also clear some of the things, you know, clear some of the things around you so you have less. Because I was talking to my daughter the other day and she said she listened to this program and it helped her. She said what she learned was if the amount of things you have, it speaks to you. If there's a dirty dish, it's saying, come and clean me. If there's anything that is around, it's speaking to you because it's in the back of your head. I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to dust all these things on the wall, So that way, it's there inside of you. Now, some thoughts come from past lives stuff. Some thoughts come from the work you're doing, So yes, so much in there. So the best way to start is to start, take a deep breath, inhale and outhale. And the easiest meditation is concentrating on your breath. Now, to stop your thoughts immediately, if you have never joined any of my talks, take a deep breath now, right? Take your tongue and put it up at the top tip of your mouth, inside, like that, and close your eyes. Tell me if thoughts are coming. You see, the body has mechanisms that the yogi discovered, and these things come out as yoga, pranayam, mudra, and all of these things. So in this talk, I cannot really define all those things, I could talk about what I do, but you would not understand that. So what you have to do is, the easiest thing, as I said, so you close your eyes and you breathe in, you say so hum. Now I have that, I think I have that in a video, so hum. So you say so when you inhale and hum when you go out. Okay, so that's a simple thing that you do. And if you want to learn more, the advanced class, there's so much I teach in the advanced class that it cannot be taught here. So I wrote, before I came on, I had to input so many things that it was 10 o'clock and I had to input, well, what is my talk about? I talk about things spontaneously, what the world needs, So my next thing on my agenda would be to give some love and blessings. But before I do that, I want to say something else. What is the purpose of our life here on earth? How many lifetimes have we lived? And, we are born into a certain family, a certain culture. We have certain friends. So those kind of things, it's a big part of who we are or who we become according to that. So our thing, we must evolve as human beings. If we look at the past, we have been evolving as human beings. So this is the goal. We must evolve. And how to evolve? We evolve so that we could embrace what the cosmos is doing, creating these perfected moments, creating our perfected moments. It took so many times, so much material to make a human being of this category right now that we're born in. So the universe, time is infinite. So how many times would it take to improve this vehicle? So let's talk about this vehicle. Like let's say I have an old Lexus, so I'll give that example. So let's say you want to improve that Lexus and you even want to give it new features, right? So you might have to work on the engine. You might have to work on the lights, the seats, the gas tank, everything in the car to upgrade it. Nowadays, you have to put a new computer. I have an old-fashioned car. So In the same way, this is our vehicle, this is our Lexus, and we are upgrading this Lexus through the process of meditation, through the process of God realization, through the purpose of life itself, through the purpose to know who you are, why you are here, and what is the purpose of this place. What is the purpose of life? So let's say you're working on the engine is the most intricate part of the car, right? Engine dies, everything dies. In the same way, when we are meditating, and we are doing that only, we are just trying to fix the engine. But all the other things that the gurus talk about, charity, serving others, having faith, doing yoga, and all that stuff, is working on the other components of the Lexus. When you chant, there are certain chants that increases the oxygen level in your body, increases your intellect, and clears your system. So cleanliness in daily life is also very important. You must keep your Lexus clean inside and outside, right? And so you must think about improving yourself in every aspect of life, every aspect. So sometimes we get sidetracked, and our most difficult thing is dealing with our emotions. Our emotions drives us. Our heart drives us. Why? Because love is the ultimate thing that God has created. From love, this universe has come about, and we live for love. We die for love. Stories are written about love. The saints love God. So I can sing a song, Bring the Love of Lord Krishna, and you'd feel that because you also love God. Well, most of you who are listening, I'm sure. But this video is also for others who might listen. So the final thing about meditation is it purifies your system. It clears all the old things that are causing this bubbling from lifetimes, from a relationship, from many things it's going to clear up. But how do you work on that? So when I tell you a guru is needed, because that will be, sometimes you need a teacher to help you do anything. If you're going to university, you need a teacher. Elementary school, we all need teachers. So right now, the world is undergoing this great change. It's a shift in order for us to upgrade our software, to upgrade our Lexus. So you don't have to only keep it clean, and you don't have to just fix the engine, but also the brain has to be able to understand and grow with our evolution so that we could understand the new information about truth, about the universe. You see, our brain has to be wired also in order to see truth, because we have been conditioned for thousands of years by religion. Religion is important, but sometimes the power behind religion causes the religion to get you stuck in the religiosity of the thing rather than in the meaning and the practice of what it is trying to teach you and make you grow. So in the past, there have been many teachers that came. So we consider them all gurus, because this is an infinite universe. It's infinite. The sign, it's infinite. So time will come and time will go. one batch of human lives, dies. And so it's going on, and you go and you come, you go and you come. And it is one day when you're tired going and coming that you ask this question, what am I doing? What is all this about? And then you try to find answers, So as I was saying, the world is undergoing all these changes. So that is why there are so many gurus roaming all over the place. Now, an intelligent creator created the process of teacher, just like we are teachers. As a mother, we teach our children. We have schools. So in order for the universe to keep going and creating, the system of the guru was created as a divine thing, because somebody has to teach somebody. So from time to time, great beings come on this planet in order to teach the population at that time. So some of the teachings in those books are for just that time. Some are literal teachings, and some are metaphorical teachings. So when you start removing the conditioning, you start to see the truth. It's called Sat. And when you do live in truth, then you can see beyond. You can see what is the literal truth for that time, what is the metaphorical teaching, and what process you should be doing in order to become a better human being, to be a more evolved human being, to be the purpose of this great creation. So there are so many things I can talk about, but it's almost half an hour already. So these are the few things that I want you to think about, You see, we can have knowledge, but if we don't have experience, what is knowledge? I can tell you about something, I visited the mountains and it's beautiful. You could just say, I've heard it's beautiful. But once you experience meditation, only then you can know what it feels like. So when you actually visit the mountains, then you'll know what it feels like. So I've tried to make this general as possible without bringing too much religion into it, because it is something for everyone on this planet to think about, because everyone is undergoing this bubbling. Everybody, this is bubbling up in so many people. And it is so important that you sit down, do mindfulness, or do some form of technique that's out there. You see, meditation was not really needed, say, 50 years ago, because we did not have all this information that's going into our database. We had less information. We had more, simple life. Life was simple. So you get up, you do your stuff, you didn't have so many things to do. And life was a bit different. There was not so much bombardment of information. And right now, you don't know what is true out there. But if you live in Sat, you live in truth, you will know what is truth deep into your core. You will know what is truth. So these are like, goes like a lecture. But how can I bring the truth without talking about it? How can I bring the experience to you without talking and explaining what it is about? I could say, let's just love God. and sing and dance and all that, and that's a good experience, So you keep doing that, but for some who seek to know, is there something more, When we clear the conditioning of our minds, we see truth, we understand truth, and then we have a moment before, when we meditate, to take an action. So when the pot is boiling and that bubble rises, you have a minute in time to think about the action. So this is the plague that's hitting humanity right now. And this is why I am talking about it. But I'll say one more thing. I'll bring the Gita a little bit in. In the Gita, as they are on the battlefield, Lord Krishna is there. Arjuna is despondent. He does not want to fight. He doesn't understand what is the meaning of this, Prabhu. This is my family and friends. What should I do? So this is the thing. Right now, we are like Arjuna. Our family and friends may be sick or may be troubled. We can't help them. Arjuna is more despondent because he has to fight them. That is worse. He has to fight them. So he asks Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna then goes into what is revealed later as the Bhagavad Gita. He shows him his many forms and he shows him the secret of meditation. So if you look at that, there were so many people in that battlefield standing. You know how they used to fight wars differently, like they would all stand and then they'd attack each other, then they would stop for a little bit and then attack again. So everybody's there in the battlefield, ready to do the battle as it's going on, It's going on one end, but there is time for Arjuna to sit there and talk to Krishna. So of all of them, nobody wanted to hear Lord Krishna. Why? It was only he who wanted to know something. So Lord Krishna was his friend. He was his buddy, his friend. And can you see a friend as God? Can you be humble enough to see? So even if God takes an unknown form and comes to this earth and comes before you, your conditioning will not allow you to see such a being, because that is what it is written in the Gita. So it is only for the few who really wants to know, will God ever reveal himself? And how much ego does one have? Our ego drives us. But God wants the whole of creation to go beautiful. So, for different students, he sent them to different schools, different practices, different religions, So you learn something every time. Every time you are reborn, you learn something and you also lose something. Sometimes you have so much burdens, it's hard to think straight. So sometimes you must look at yourself. God can come and appear as somebody else and you would not know. But if you are studying and meditating, then you will know Sat Chit Ananda. You will know truth. So you can go beyond that and learn about yourself, how you are, what you are. I know we are separated, but this is just some of the things that does not occur to some people, So that's enough of a lesson, Let's bring some love now. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath Narayana Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath Narayana Vasudeva He Nath Narayana Vasudeva He Nath Narayana Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath Narayana Vasudeva He Govinda He Gopala He Govinda He Gopala Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari. See, when you sing and you bring God into your heart, then you can actually feel the love flow. So when doing kirtan, always go into your heart and think of God existing inside your heart. So then you will experience, as I said, experience is important. So this is some of the things I thought would be useful this morning. But I see there are some people are on, and maybe if they want me to talk about something, you can write it and I'll see. I think, I'm not on this YouTube business much. Is there something somebody want to hear about? Or is everybody in meditation? No. So, have courage, have faith. These days will pass. It may take long, but it will pass. So don't be too worried. You do your best. You do what the science is saying, and you will get through it. You will learn so much from what it is. So I'll just close my eyes. You can close your eyes wherever you are and receive my blessings. I will transmit some blessings and love